Special United Nations Ambassador. Here is the next part 7 of the UN Peacekeeping Operations, my review series. Special Political Missions, SPMs. SPMs is a different type of field operations led by the Department of Political Affairs. SPMs include field missions, special envoys, expert panels for Security Council sanctions. SPMs vary in mandate, size, and duration. They tend to be involved in conflict prevention, peacemaking, peace building. Field missions have very few or no uniformed personnel. Examples of special political missions or SPMs is the UN Office for West Africa, UNOWA, UN Assistance Mission in Iraq, UNAMI. Examples of UN peace operations: supporting a ceasefire agreement between two or more parties, example in Cyprus, in Lebanon, in Syria. Supporting a peace process and national authorities after civil conflict, example in Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. Extending initial security and stability gains into longer-term peace building, example in Haiti, Liberia, Timor-Leste. Promoting security and protection in response to conflict, example in Darfur. Supporting other peace and security actors, including through capacity building, for example in Darfur and in Somalia. So we have seen a lot. We have familiarized ourselves with the Security Council mandate for peacekeeping operations. We've seen introduction, the UN Charter and Chapter applied in peacekeeping operation, the Security Council and establishment of different mandates, peacekeeping operations legal framework, evolution of peacekeeping, and summary. Those are part of the third module. The objectives of the third module actually at the end is that I must be able to describe how the Security Council established a mandate for UN peacekeeping operation. I must be able to explain the evolving the role of UN peacekeeping operation. I am also able to list the key documents that provide normative framework to peacekeeping. The UN Charter and chapters applied in peacekeeping operation. The UN Charter provides the foundation for all UN activities. The UN Charter is the founding document of the United Nations. Although peacekeeping is not explicitly mentioned in the Charter, some of its articles and chapters have been linked to UN peacekeeping operation. Here is a list of the guiding documents. Chapter 1, Purposes and Principles. Article 1 indicates that one of the purposes of the United Nations is to maintain international peace and security. Chapter 5, the Security Council is primarily responsible for the maintenance of international peace and security. The specific powers granted to the Security Council for the discharge of those duties are laid down in chapters 6, 7, 8. Chapter 6, Pacific Settlement of Disputes. Associated with traditional peacekeeping operations focused on ceasefire monitoring and observation, outlines the range of peaceful measures available to the UN for settling disputes and dealing with armed conflict. Chapter 7, Action with respect to the threats to the peace, breaches of the peace, and acts of aggression. The Security Council may take such action by air, sea, or land forces as they may be necessary to maintain or restore international peace and security. reminds all member states of their obligation to respect and comply with the Security Council resolutions. That is about Chapter 7. Chapter 8 is about regional arrangements. Involvement of regional partners. Activities need to be consistent with the UN purposes and principles, UN Charter, and of course Chapter 1 too. Chapter 1, of course. UN peacekeeping operations have traditionally been associated with Chapter 6 of the Charter. However, the Security Council needs to refer to a specific chapter of the Charter when passing a resolution authorizing the deployment of a UN peacekeeping operation, and has never invoked Chapter 6. In recent years, the Security Council has adopted the practice of invoking Chapter 7 of the Charter when authorizing the deployment of UN peacekeeping operations for handling volatile post-conflict situations, where the state is unable to maintain security and public order. Security authorization of regional peace operation. At times, the Security Council may authorize the deployment of field operations led by a regional organization alongside or before the deployment of a UN peace operation. These types of operations are linked to Chapter 8, regional arrangements. The Security Council may give its authorization to peacekeeping operations that are carried out by other bodies. Regional arrangements. In 1999, once the NATO bombing campaign was over, the Council authorized NATO NATO to keep the peace in Kosovo as the Kosovo Force, or KFOR. Simultaneously, the Council set up the UN Interim Administration Mission in Kosovo, UNMIK, a UN peacekeeping operation, and tasked it with administering the territory, ensuring law and order, and creating democratic institutions of self-government. The same year, the Council authorized an international force led by Australia to restore security in East Timor, now Timor-Leste. That force was replaced the following year by a UN peacekeeping operation. In the year 2001, the Council authorized an international coalition, the International Assistance Force (ISAF), to maintain a military presence in Afghanistan, while also setting up a UN political mission to support the transitional government. In 2003-2004, ECOWAS forces paved the way for the deployment of UN peacekeeping operations in Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire. In Darfur, the UN and the African Union deployed the first hybrid peacekeeping mission in history. In Mali, ECOWAS and France also deployed forces prior to the authorization of a UN peacekeeping mission in the country in July 2013. The ECOWAS forces were rehearted as UN. So in the next part, we'll see Security Council and the establishment of different mandates. Thanks for listening.